But the INEC officials have arrived.
They've arrived. In fact, it took a voter, it took a resident here to go and insist that they deploy INEC officials to this polling unit, and they did.
So someone had to go to INEC office.
Exactly.
For them to come to your polling unit.
Exactly.
And then they got there at past 3 or to 4.
Yes.
Wow.
In fact, people just started lining up now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Please, we will definitely be getting more details from that polling unit, because we'd like to know when that voting exercise will end, if we are just starting now. Can you give an estimate of what's the number of people that are on ground to cast their votes right now?
Approximately more than 500.
500 people?
Yes, more than 500. If you combine with the people on 054, PU 054, it should be approximately about 1,000 or so.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. And as at 3:47, they have not, cast their votes. Oh, okay, thank you very much. We appreciate. I'd like to speak to my colleague, please.
Thank you so much. Hold on for me. Hello, Sandra.
So, Fuhad, what he's telling us now is that as at now, 3:47 p.m., over 500 people in that particular area are yet.
It's up to 1,000 because the crowd is huge here, Sandra.
So almost 1,000 people are yet to cast their vote in Amuwodofi.
This particular, the two polling units just here close to Apple Junction, yes, MRS filling station in Amuwodofi, very close to Apple Junction. But again, there's every security presence, Sandra, here in Amuwodofi, well armed. In fact, on the major road, you have military guys also well armed, well stationed in different parts of Amuwodofi. The policemen are also here in their numbers, so they are not few. I think if I can do my count, there are about 10 police officers in these two polling units, and we've actually gone through about 4 or 5 military checkpoints in different parts of Amuwodofi. So it's well guarded. The security presence is huge and high. But we are surprised that while counting has started in parts of Sulere, parts of Ebute Meta, Lagos mainland, here in Amuwodofi. The voters said they've been here since around 7 o'clock in the morning, and look, they have to even go and bring the INEC officials themselves, and you see that they deploy officials here, and voting has just started.
This is actually quite unfortunate. This is the second report that we're getting of such. Nuruddin also reported something similar on the island, somewhere in Victoria Island, that voting just started at past 3 p.m. Okay, so we'll get into.
But we must mention, Sandra, sorry. Okay. That the people here are very determined. It's obvious from the resolve we are seeing from them. They are well determined to cast their vote, and they don't look tired. There's a way you see the energy, and you know that look, they are ready to even stay here till tomorrow to ensure that they cast their vote, because the energy is high, the resolve is high. They are determined to cast their vote. They are not looking tired. I must say, I think there are a number of persons sharing drinks, water, as a sort of motivation, so that people can remain behind and not get deterred, and of course cast their votes eventually.
All right, thank you very much, Fuad. We'll definitely get in touch with you soon to know if everyone in that particular polling unit or those two polling units will be able to cast their votes to.
All right.
Thank you very much. Please stand by. Okay, so that is from Fuad. Let's see what Nuruddin has to offer us this evening. You're still on to Mainland 98.3 FM, and we are getting live reports from all our correspondents all across the country. All right, but then we're trying to know what exactly is happening in Lagos. 2 different places in Lagos just started their voting exercise at 3 p.m. That's interesting. All right, let's see. Nuruddin?
Well, based on the reports we've given earlier, it has shown that majority of polling units on Etiosa local government started the election very, very late. We got to a particular polling unit by Ikoyi Link Bridge linking to VI, part of Metiosa rather, polling unit 084. We have one polling unit that is 50 registered voters, and we have one in the same compound over 700. It shows that majority of places that INEC has told us that they splitted some certain polling units is not done on the island. There is a particular location also in Kuramo Secondary School that we got to. There is a particular one, 1,500 in a polling unit. Why did another one, 35 voters in a polling unit? 35, just 35. But I can confirm that majority of the centers at Etiosa are cool and calm. Apart from a report from Legushi Palace where the vote was disrupted. Apart from that, every other place on Etiosa is cool and calm, and majority of them are still voting because they started very, very late. They started very, very late. So voting is still going on in all the centers we visited.
Okay. So as of now, voting is still going on in different parts of Lagos, even at almost 4 p.m. All right, it's okay. Thank you very much, Nuruddin. We'll get in touch with you later. Okay, so just in case you have live reports for us on the field, you are still out there. If you've voted or you are about to vote and you want to give us something, please do well to send a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0913 6000 430.
All right, we have here that at the polling unit opposite Schofield Secondary School, Amuwa Odofin Estate, Mile 2, there are 1,925 registered voters. Now, the voters have aired their grievances about the INEC officials' laxity in conducting the elections. According to these voters, the INEC officials commenced the accreditation process at about 2 p.m. And report has it that the Beavers machine has been giving the officials some difficulty, and this is the third time that they've had to go and change the Beavers machine. So at the polling unit at opposite Schofield Secondary School at Amuwa Odofin, with 1,925 registered voters, well, the voters are complaining, but then most of the difficulty is with the Beavers machine. And according to this report here, they've had to go and change it 3 different times, and they're still trying to get people to vote.
3 times and still not working. All right, so yes, we are still trying to get reports. Let's see what is cooking around Okweyemi Akinyode, and then we'll move on to Bayelsa. Things seems to still be cooking in Bayelsa. I really don't understand, but sorry about that. From Zamfara, we can also reach Adamawa and see what has happened there, and also Abuja. Okweyemi.
Alexandra.
Yes, what's the situation?
We just got to the place now.
Okay.
In front of Ronin Polytechnic in Jibo, Lagos. And there seems to be some, by the way, I met the man that has been giving us information.
Okay.
So it seems that there's some form of normalcy right now.
Okay.
Everything is going on. They said there was one of the beavers had issues, but they've gone to replace it. So they're picking them into the inner voting corner, 10-10. That's 2 lines of 5-5 each.
Okay.
And I think everything is going on smoothly at the moment, although it's also going to be difficult for anyone to want to end the vote here, because there's still a lot of people here still waiting to be accredited. And I'm sure everybody wants to exercise their franchise before they call it a day on the show. But so far, so good. There's been some form of sanity around there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, voting is still ongoing at Ejibo.
Yes, definitely. Voting is still ongoing at the moment. Yeah. The correspondent is here with me. Maybe you'd like to speak to him. You're live on radio. Hi. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kazim.
Yeah. Thank you. Well done for the good job.
All right.
All right, the officials did not arrive on 15 a.m. and we started voting around 1 o'clock. So, but there were some issues before we started. The machine was not working.
Okay.
So they said they wanted to go and fix it, but the people protested. So they later went to call the IT guys.
Okay.
Some people here accompanied them with the army, the soldier escorts. So they later brought the guy after fixing the machine. We started voting around 1. So it has been on, although slowly, but there's no issue.
All right.
There's no issue. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kazim. We appreciate the updates.
Thank you very much, Sandra. So we'll still
get in touch with you soon.
You said?
Okay, you're still okay. You want to hang around there?
Yes,
Okay.
there's still a couple of, more other polling units there. It seems there are a lot of people. There's big numbers around here, though. So, but it's quite slow. The pivot is really, really slow. But I'm sure the people are ready to pull it off. They just keep hanging on there.
All right. Thank you very much, Okwe. We'll get in touch with you in a few bits. Stay with us.
Okay, thank you.
Well done. All right. Yes, you're still on to Ballot 23 on 98.3 Mainland FM, covering the presidential and national assembly elections. That's what we are doing at this time now. Let's see if we can get in touch with Abigail in Bayelsa and get some updates, because we're seeing pictures and videos, of situation of different scenarios in Bayelsa State. And the last time we reached out to her, we got reports that a lot of places that still do not have the materials delivered to the polling unit yet. So let's find out if these materials have been deployed and what's the situation in Bayelsa. Hello, Abigail. We're back.
Okay, so I have left because at some point some of the polling units later had voters. There's the major wards in Yenegua City, as at this moment, did not see INEC officials at all. So they protested to INEC office. I think the soldiers shot gun at them, and so I think people scattered. I got there and I had to leave. But what we are saying is that in Yenegua City, the capital of Bayelsa State, the major wards, which we have in Amarata, Apollo, Ward 4, Ward 6, and other Ward 8 like that, there was no election. INEC never showed up to those places. They never showed up to any of the polling units. An election did not hold. But right now, the people have not gotten back from the field persons in other local governments. I know voting has been going on in Sagama, voting has been going on in Kolokuma, Fokuma, and some parts of...
Till now?
They started like almost past 12 in most of these places.
Okay, all right.
Yes. So it's been like that. But what we are saying here is that there's been a high level of the suppression of voters in Bayelsa State.
Wow. So that means there are different polling units now that did not vote at all.
Yes, there are polling units. INEC never showed up in those polling units. So there are wards so in some of these wards, they have like 21 polling units, So INEC never showed up in those districts. Now, there were some polling units that INEC showed up. What happened was that they had the presidential voters card, the ballot paper. How do you call it?
Ballot paper. The ballot paper.
Yeah, they have the ballot paper for the presidential and the Senate, and then they did not have the ballot paper for the House of Representatives. Now, for us that are on ground, we know that most of the persons who came out to vote within those particular wards were actually coming out to vote for
a particular candidate.
Yes, the House of Reps candidate for Bayelsa, the PDP House of Reps.
No, Abigail.
Oh, thank you very much, Abigail. Oh, we appreciate it. We were not expecting you to mention any candidate. You were not supposed to, but we appreciate it, though. We'll call you back for more information. As regards what is happening in Bayelsa State. Let's just stay safe. Very important. That's why we've not been receiving calls from listeners all day, or one of the reasons anyways. All right, so thank you very much. Let's keep moving now and see what we have in other parts of the state. I have James Ogona from Oshodi. Okay, lost that call. All right, I think we have some reports here. Okay. Okay, a lot of people are angry with INEC from these messages that I'm getting here. I'm seeing some colorful words being used in these messages. I think I understand, actually. I mean, I'm a little bit peeved. There's the fact that there's some polling units that up until now, this is 4 p.m. up until now, no INEC official has gone to the polling units.
Some are just starting.
Some started 30 minutes ago. So are they going to vote into the night, or is it?
Shetima just voted some few minutes ago.
And that is the APC, running mate to the APC presidential candidate. All right. We also have Borno. Yes, we have someone in Borno. I think we can always reach out to them. People are actually interested in knowing what is happening in Borno State. Stay with us. We'll contact our Borno correspondent in a bit. All right. We also have here. I am Emmanuel from Ilekpo. I want to know how the vote is going in Akwa Ibom and Benue. We've been trying to reach our Benue correspondent all day. I think maybe he's really busy, so just give us some time. We'll try to reach him again. That's as regards Benue. For Akwa Ibom, we'll get in touch. All right, stay with us. Just stay on the line. We'll definitely get information for you. That's what we're here for. Good afternoon. Please, I'd like you guys to give you a report on Benue. A lot of people want to know what is happening in Benue. Okay, so just stay with us. We'll try to reach him again. Let me see if we can reach him again. We've been trying to reach him all day. We haven't gotten anything. So let's try again. That's for Benue State now. Okay, we also have some other information. Do we have on your side?
Yes, we do. Live at the polling units, that's the junction of Adebayo Oyelano, Demure, Ailegun Road, in front of Ronick Polytechnic, in Okiafa, Ejigbo, under Oshodi, Isolo. As at 11:30 a.m., INEC officials arrived at the polling unit. Voting started at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
Oh, we have that information already?
We got the live. Where already gave us the. Carry on.
Well, voting started at 30 p.m. 1,231 registered voters, but some were voters under Ward A and Ward G were asked to remain at the polling unit, while HP were asked to go to another polling unit, and voting is still ongoing. Some voters discovered that their polling unit had been changed. That's all we have for now.
All right. Thank you very much. We are still trying to get in touch with our Benue State correspondent. We'll see what we can do. Just stay with us. Don't worry. We'll do what we can to get in touch with him. If we are not able to get in touch with him, then I guess we'll have to, try to get in touch with someone else in Benue State. But we already have someone assigned there. That's why we're, trying to stick to that particular arrangement. So stay with us. For those who have been calling for reports from Benue State. All right, the number we've been calling all day, 0913-6000-430, is not for phone calls. We're getting calls on it. So please, it is just for text messages and WhatsApp messages. That's just what it is for. If you want to give us reports, just send a message, a text, or a WhatsApp message, and we'll get it. All right, this is something unthinkable is happening, at Ilogbo-Elegba Primary School, where there are 3 different polling units, 005, 006, and 007. All right, we'll look through that particular one, and then we'll get back to you. Good evening, Sandra and Mr. Saka. I'd like to know the situation report in Kano, FCT, and Kaduna. If possible, I'd like to know what is happening in other states respectively. We've been given reports all day from different parts of the country. We've got from Abuja, we've gotten from Kano. We'll get updates very soon. We've called them earlier. We'll call them again to get it. So stay with us. Don't worry. We'll get in touch with all of we have correspondents in those areas. All right. We also have here, my name is Ugo, and I'm reporting from Babayonju Street in Oshodi. Some people came now and took some boxes here in Babayonju after discovering that the voters here are supporters of a particular party. Thank you very much, Ugo. We appreciate. All right. We also have update. This is Omo at Lekon Idowu Street polling unit at Egbe Dimo. The last voter casted their vote by 3:50 p.m. peacefully. I can see only the 3 top political agents are here doing the needful with the INEC officials so as to commence the ballot counting. God bless Nigeria. That is Omo sharing that particular message. All right, let's get in touch with James Ogbonna. Please hold on. We'll get in touch with you very soon. Let's get in touch with, okay. Okay, we have someone for Uyo. That's Akwa Ibom. Okay, so let's do that now, and then we'll go to Benue very soon. All right, so stay with us. We also need to get back to our correspondent in Abuja. He already gave us some reports earlier in the day. Our correspondent at Kano also gave us some reports earlier in the day. So we would see how we can reconcile all of that for now. Just stay with us. Thank you very much.
All right, then we do have some interviews, but then the interviewees are asking the pleading anonymity. So I guess that we will get the information on our social media page when we post these interviews regarding what is going on in this areas. Please, you can continue to send in your first-hand experience at your polling unit. Did voting just start now? Have you been able to vote? If you have voted, what is it like? What's the atmosphere like? What was the arrival time of the INEC officials and what have you? Now, all this information you can send to us via WhatsApp or text message to 0913 6000 430. Send them on there, and please make sure that this is information that is accurate, because we have to verify before we can air your information. So WhatsApp or text message 0913 6000 430. All
right, we have someone from Akwa Ibom, Uyo. Actually, good evening, Nelson.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Very exciting to speak with you.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Omobola, Sandra. This is Mainland 98.3 FM. What is the situation in Uyo, Akwa Ibom?
Yeah, Uyo election here is going very swiftly and very peacefully. The turnout has been very massive. I'm using my polling unit as a point of case here. We have massive people come out with high expectations for a total
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We could barely hear you. Maybe you should move the phone a bit, or change location, because the network is the quality is not so pleasant, so we can hear you clearly.
All right, so can you hear me now?
It's better.
All right, so I was saying that the election is moving very smoothly now. You are quite on state. The turnout here is been very massive. People coming out in their numbers with their PVC to make choice candidates of their own for the position of the president, the National Assembly. So the turnout is very amazing here, and also it has been very peaceful. A high level of coordination, high level of tranquility as well in the polling units, not just at where I am, but across the state. So, like also in the media section, people communicating with other polling units know what is going on. So, the election in Aquarium is going to be.
Okay. What about delay in resumption of INEC officials? Are you experiencing any of such in Akwa Ibom?
Yeah, some centers, they made a report in the direction that the INEC officials that the material, they arrived late. And some centers, as I speak, some are almost rounding up, because some centers they arrive on time and some centers arrive very late.
Wow.
Okay, Nelson, what about other local governments? Maybe Anang, Ezi, Etsena, or other things? What was the conduct like?
Yeah, the conduct using Uyuri as a point of case here to other local governments. The conduct generally is peaceful, because we've been communicating, like the media stations here in Uyuri have been doing what they're doing right now to link up all the local government areas. And the report we have is the very peaceful, there's no issue of misconduct or misbehavior. Very orderly and very peaceful.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Nelson, for the reports. If we would, we'll get in touch with you later on for more details.
My joy to have you talk to me next time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate. All right, Fuhad Sahid has reports for us from Festac Town. Let's see what we have trending in that scene. And yes, because he just called recently that he was at Amuwo. Okay, so let's see what he has for us. What update does he have for us? Is voting still going on at Festac?
Well, in contrast to what we have at Amuwo, close to Apple Junction and the polling units around there. Now we're in Festac Town. A lot of the polling units that we have seen so far, voting has ended, and in fact counting has also ended in some of the polling units. So what we have is the tallying of results and all of them. Of course, in one of the polling units, there was this altercation between voters and the INEC officials. There's this rule that unused ballot papers would have to be crossed out. And so they were insisting that the INEC officials do that. The votes have been counted, the results have been tallied, so they expected that the unused ballot papers should be crossed out before they leave the polling unit. So that led to a bit of altercation because they felt some of the INEC officials were a bit in wrong time. But that has happened. It's peaceful out there. In some of the polling units, vote counting is still going on. But like I said, it's a bit of contrast to what we discovered in parts of our ward of close to Apple Junction. The elections in First Start have been, so far what we've seen is peaceful, the turnout has been good, and I think no issues. Like I said, most of First Avenue, most parts of First Start, I think what we have currently is that votes are being counted. Like I said, some unit votes counting has ended and results are being tallied.
All right, thank you very much. So, first from to Apple Junction is almost a trekking distance. It's a trekking distance. And look at that sharp contrast.
One wonders why polling materials got to some parts of First Start earlier and just less than 2-3 minutes drive. In a ward of polling officers got there like 2-3 o'clock, and they're just to cast their ballot. But even at that, accreditation is still ongoing and the crowd is huge.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Fuad Said. We appreciate. Of course, we'll get in touch with you later as the day goes on.
Thank you.
All right. That's it. Okay. So let's keep moving. We still have some other, reports here. We have that INEC should explain the reasons for disparities in the font size print of the different parties. Some political parties were printed in bold capital letters, some in small letters, some did not even print their names at all. It's a shame as it is now. So he's saying the report he is giving now is that the ballot paper, some parties, they have their name boldly written, and then some they have their names just, written in small letters, and then one particular party does not even have its name written at all. That is what we have here. Okay, thank you very much, although he didn't drop his name nor location. Hello, James Ogbona.
Sandra.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Sandra. Sandra, the worst has happened, as I told you that I was expecting such. The counting was already on the way. We've counted for House of Reps and
there's no need to tell us the numbers,
No. We also counted for Senate. But at the point where we were counting for presidential, stocks came. They shot into the air, and everybody was camped for seats. They came and made away with the beavers, and I think they also took the box for the presidential So at the moment, what I'm calling now is for us to be aware of our polling unit. Any result declared will not be accepted because there's no beavers. They've stolen the beavers. They ran away with the beavers. So I don't know what they were going to do with it. Whether they will go and find a way to write something inside the beavers. Ward polling unit 050 Olusoji Street, off Afari Ogun,
050 Olusoji Street.
Yes, off Afari Ogun Street, Oshodi.
Off Afari Ogun Street, Oshodi. Thank you very much, James Ogbona. So what you're saying now is that the beavers device for that particular polling unit has been carted off.
Yes, they came in a bus. They shot everybody, including INEC officials. Even the policeman that was there had to run away. I've left the place now for safety. So they made it go to everything has stopped.
Sorry, James, this is after you've placed several calls to security agents telling them of an imminent danger.
They didn't come.
Yeah, they didn't come. They didn't show up, yes.
Can you oblige us the agencies you called, the numbers you called, even at the time you made the calls?
Yes, I called emergency number 767.
Okay. How many times?
Yes, and they responded. I called them like 3 times, and they said that they are aware of our street. They're taking note that they're deploying RRS.
So that is negligence on the part of the security agencies.
All right, thank you very much, James Ogbonna. We really appreciate that particular one. So, a particular unit does not have beavers now.
No, that beavers has been stolen.
Okay, they have beavers that has been stolen. Okay, no, it's very important. They have, because people voted.
Yeah, people voted. At the point of counting.
At the point of counting, the beavers went. Sorry.
Yeah, and not nicely.
Not nicely taken away.
Yeah, not nicely. They didn't hand it over.
It was snatched.
It was snatched. Forcefully taken. At gunpoint. All
right. Well, Babalola from Aba is giving some updates now. The latest on ground is that polling unit 005 has been resolved. Vote has been counted. Polling unit 006 and 007, they are counting their votes currently. Military men are on ground now, but some people are still grumbling that the ballot boxes have been replaced, especially that of polling unit 006. So he gave a report earlier on about, there was some sort of, brouhaha happening at those 3 different polling units. It has all been resolved, but people are still skeptical about,
They're managing the situation.
It's okay. All right, we still have some reports here. Good afternoon, Mainland FM. Any report from Enugu, Abia, Ebonyi, and Anambra?
We gave reports from Enugu.
We've been given reports. I think he's just tuning in. Maybe he's just tuning in. We've given reports from Enugu.
Maybe if you want to get update from Stella.
Okay, we've given reports from Enugu, Anambra. Also, we got something from Abia. Yes, we got something from Abia State. All right, but then we'll be calling all of our correspondents to get updates on what exactly is the situation in those different areas. All right, so stay with us. We've been trying to get with the Benue with our Benue correspondent, but I guess it's been really hooked up, as it is now. Okay, but then let's keep moving. We'll see what we have.
Yes, at Ward 1, polling unit 1 at Amuwo-Odofin, Festac Town, counting is currently ongoing. A total number of registered voters, 772, and 168 voted. So of the 772 accredited voters, we had 168 that actually voted, and counting has begun at Ward 1, polling unit 1, Amuwo-Odofin, Festac Town. That's all we have for now.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Sage Babalola. Let's keep moving now. We have a report from Deyemi Akinyode. We'll see what exactly he has for us on ground. He seems to have something to share with us from Oshodi. Yes, from Oshodi. So let's get in touch with Deyemi Akinyode. As we wait for that report, we have here. Hi, Milan FM. My polling unit is in front of Wasiu's house, Kwam 1. INEC officials came late by 11 a.m. We have more than 800 people around. There are some people doing a lot of underground job, but then Roland from Ago. He didn't say which Ago. Okay, but then, hello, Okoyemi.
Good evening.
Good evening, Okoyemi. Well done.
Okay, we have with us here to join us live Honorable Jude Idumogo is the member representing Oshodi Solo State Constituency 2 in the Lagos State House of Assembly, and is also the chairman House Committee on Wealth Creation and Employment. So I'll put him live now. He will talk to us about the election so far, the turnout, and the expectations. Honorable Jude, thank you for joining us live on Milan 98.3 FM Ballot 23 studio.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much.
From your observations, from the turnout of the voters, how has it been so far all day?
Observation. I participated. I'm an active member. See my hand. I have voted. I've been here 6 a.m. till now. I've not entered my house because the polling booth is just directly opposite my house, and to ensure that everything moves smoothly. We're almost rounding up. We have been here, even though yes, INEC staff came in a little bit late. Most of our comments about 2:30, but they came around 10. But they have been working. They have remained focused and doing whatever they are doing diligently.
And the voters are cooperating. But even though you know at times anxiety comes because of the time some people come by 8, up to this time they are more left. So that if you look at the environment, it's calm. And everybody is trying to be more cautious and not cheat anybody. You understand? Everybody have interest. So it's happening there. So for me, it's a good one, and we thank God for the climate weather we have. Everywhere is fine. I think INEC have done well, and the federal government. I think I'll say kudos to Mohamed Bari. I think what he's trying to do at the end of the day.
Okay. What about the beavers? That's been one of the fears of the people going into the election. Can you talk to us about how people have been able to, use the beavers? Are these function well? Any delay? Has there been anybody that has not been, accredited or allowed to vote because of how fast the beaver is?
Not really. But my own observation, nothing like that has occurred. Everybody came here with their PVC. Don't observe something. If those that do not have PVC, the own observation I make is that there is a card they gave them, the same code, because their names are also on that list. So, but they still go, and what I observed there, they also cleared them. Just 1 or 2 occasions, this one happened. But the fact that the same code they have in their card is what they have on that sheet given to them by INEC. Apart from that, the beavers have been working well. Or initially they were shouting about results, INEC results, cards, paper, and stuff like that. The INEC guy did not show it immediately, so people started making trouble and no fight. At the end of the day, they produced it. And the idea was, I was telling them, look, you calm down. We have not finished voting. If you finish voting, probably they may not bring the sheet, the different, but they have not produced the sheet and show it to everybody. Everybody has seen it, and everybody.
Okay. Now, the governorship election comes up in a few weeks' time, on the 11th of March. With the turnout that we've seen today, what are we expecting on that particular one? The governorship election and the state houses of assembly election also. That will most likely involve you.
Yeah, in Lagos State, it will be good. I believe that. Because I'm one of the non-indigenous, it will be very, very okay by the grace of God. Right now, a typically go man, you have to persuade them. I've been begging them. I frustrated. Please. And some of them are listening to me. Of course, you cannot, everybody have a mindset. But all I would say is going well. But the outcome, the outcome letter, when it's announced, will also be what that also push and motivate people for 11th March governorship and state house assembly election.
Thank you very much for joining us live on the show today.
Thank you for the opportunity to me. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Sandra.
Yes, thank you.
That was the voice of Honorable Jude Emeka Idumogu, the House Committee Chairman on Wealth Creation and Employment, and the member representing Oshodi Solo, State Constituency 2 in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Thank you very much. Over to return to Ballot on the place today.
All right. Thank you very much, Okweyemi Akinade, Oshodi Isolo. We appreciate that live report and yes, that live interview. Yes, you're still on to Ballot 23 as it is. The Presidential and National Assembly elections so far has had quite interesting turns with late resumption of INEC officials and also some beavers technical issues. But then, as it is now, some polling units just started their voting exercises just about 30 minutes to 40 minutes ago. We're wondering what exactly would be the situation of these people if they are unable to complete their voting exercise today, and if there will be a continuation tomorrow. We'll get to know very soon, as the chairman of INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, is set to brief us once again today by 4:30 p.m. Right now, the time check is 4:26 p.m.
All right, we have information now from our correspondent. polling unit 080, Ward 11, Okeafa, Ejigbo. Voting is still ongoing. INEC officials got to the polling unit at about 11:15 a.m. and voting started at 1:13 p.m. There was no marker, there was no result sheet, and there was no security official on ground. The voters had to demand that the resources be provided before they start to cast their vote. And I think these are some of the things that contributed to voting starting at 1:13 p.m. So that's all we have for now from our correspondents.
All right. Let's see what we can get from. Oh, I was about to call him. All right. So let's see what we can get from Nuruddin. I was hoping that you were going to stay at the unit that just started their voting some 2 seconds ago, so that we can know what exactly would be the outcome. Would they be able to finish today?
Well, I must confess, in fact, 10% of them has not even voted. And with the numbers that we are having, because the way they structure themselves in that particular poll, because it's a very big estate, what they've done is that the elderly ones, they were asked to stay indoor first. Okay. Because the number of chairs made available, I think they have up to like 12 dozens, and those one is for youth, maybe cook. All those gatesmen, so those other ones, they are still waiting, and the third batch is going to be the elderly ones, and they are still very, very many, because they create menu for themselves and others. It's a very, very big estate, and they make sure that, and they were so orderly. They did not line up, they were just moving from one seat to another.
They didn't have to line up.
They didn't have to line up, because they were just sitting.
So what's the number that we're working with here? Like, how many are they?
With one of the INEC that we are talking about, I think they have 2 in 1 polling unit in front of that particular estate. I think they are over 1,500.
Over 1,500.
Over 1,500. And
they started voting at past 3.
The team were just saying, okay, what if these people did not raise it up and the Mainland FM did not put it out? Automatically, those 1,500 Nigerians would never vote. There are a lot of places where voting did not take place. The other place that we talked about, Queen's Park's estate, those ones today. In fact, we later went to a particular place where we saw superior officers of INEC, and we tabled their matter. The guy just said, today they can't vote again. And this is a place that was accredited. They were not just voting in that place, though. I have to confirm, even the police officers, I said, they normally give them the address of where they are going, and they showed it to me, the same place with the same polling unit number. In fact, one of the police officers said, this is not the first time that she came from the neighboring police station that covered that place. Now, this was not the first time that she's even covering that place in the election. But I can tell you, they will not vote. But part of Oworo, hand of Koshofe, Oworo Shoki from Olojojo, from Olojojo to Ekore, from Ekore to Olopomeji, voting is already being counted. In fact, virtually all of them are finished counting. Only few, maybe from Sonyaolu, Olorunfunmi, Salami Street, that are still counting.
So there are some people that would not vote in this.
In fact, as we were just coming in, we got a report that there is a particular street called Oyediran Street. For those people that know Yaba very well, especially Sabo Police Station, there is a road, is a stone thrown to Kwanti, but there is a police division before Kwanti called Sabo Police Station. Adjacent it, that is where you are going to find Oyediran.
That takes you to
you can take it bypass to the other of BRT terminal. So that particular place,
McNeil Street or
yes.
McNeil Street.
So they finish voting. Before you know, they said talk comes around. Then there was a policewoman struggle with them, but they pour oil, naked oil. They pour it on that
hot oil.
Oil. Engine oil.
Okay.
They pour it on. The woman cannot rescue everything, but struggle with them. Policewoman, for that matter.
She deserves a command.
And that is the current thing at Oyediran, Sabo Street. And one thing there is this particular election, a lot of things have not changed. I must confess. I know how 1993 general election was. I know the one of 99, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019. We're in 2023. Nothing has changed.
No, I think we went back. I think 2015 there was an improvement. When there was this.
It's because of what people are yearning for. That they think a lot of things. Now, could you believe in the whole of Lagos East Senatorial District, based on what we covered, we can categorically say 95% of those polling units, they started late.
Based on the ones you covered.
Based on the local government, because what we did was that we cover all. The only local government we did not cover very well was Ekpe. But talking about Etiosa, talking about VI, Oniru, LCDA, talking about from all that place down to Koshofe, in fact, Ikorodu, we make sure that we covered virtually all the angles of Ikorodu.
So did you get to Igbogbo Bayeku? Was there anything going on there? Igbogbo Bayeku, Italu?
Apart from those watering area. Apart from those watering area, because the water was also short.
Oh, no, Igbogbo, you get to Igbogbo through
you can go through
not Igbogbo, you go through the local government. This what's it called?
It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what we just did was we pick a pocket of, because we have to cover a lot within the Ikorodu metropolis, and I can tell you when they started, they all started late. In fact, there is a particular polling unit that they started 11. Between 11 and 12, over 500 people have lined up. So a lot of people come out in Ikorodu very, very well, but the problem that we are still facing is that you have a 3 polling units. One will have 35 registered voters, and one will have 1,500. Another one will have 15 in the same location. That some of the bigger polling units has been dismantled, has been divided so that it can be very, very easy. But in fact, there is a particular place linking towards Ikoyi Link Bridge. In a particular place, we have 50 in a polling unit. In another polling unit, in the same way, we have over 750, the one of 1,550, and those one are still much. In fact, as we are still, before we left that particular place, half of those people have not even voted.
All right, that seems to be the trend across the country, as it is even some parts of Bayelsa. I mean, we had report that some 2 different polling units that did not
wards.
even
Wards that has close to 20 polling units.
So that means over 2,000 people will be disenfranchised in those places.
Okay, I love you being moderate, but I think you've saved to over 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
I apologize. Wow. Okay, so let's keep moving now. We have report here from 104 Igondo, Lagos. Everything went well from voting to counting, and that is Chidi from Igondo giving us that particular report. Thank you very much, Chidi from Igondo. All right, the report we got earlier on as regards in front of Wasiu Kwamwon's house in Agor Palaswe in Okota. I didn't stay in Lagos, but the report is that things went well there. Although there were some people he said there were some people of a particular party, some people of a particular party who were doing a lot of job, compromising, some security agents, and his number is 375, and they are still on number 200. So he has not voted. so he still has about 100 people before it gets to him. All right, we also have this one. This exercise, as it is now, I have my doubts. I still strongly have my doubts. Reporting from Lagos mainland. I would have loved to know what part of Lagos mainland you're reporting from, and also your name and what are your doubts. All right, somebody is sending us results. Of course, I'm not going to do anything with that, but thank you very much. That's from Ifakojai. So apparently they finished counting at that place. Okay. So they finished counting at that particular location. Thank you very much. We appreciate. Okay, so we also have here I want to remain anonymous. So, in Branko Mafoluku Oshodi, Ward D3, polling units 031 and 032, people turned out to vote, but on the process of voting, some masked men, people that wore masks with guns, invaded our polling units, and everybody ran for their dear life, including me. Of course, we would expect that you run for your dear life.
That's why you're able to file this report.
Yeah, that's why you're filing this report. Also, at Orile Primary School, Mafoluku, some group of thugs refused a particular ethnicity from voting, chased them away, not until when a group of soldiers came and arrested those thugs. So they've been arrested. Did they finish their voting? I would like to know.
Those two places was highly escalated, I must confess. The first one, it was, in fact, Mafoluku, majority of the polling units in Mafoluku, as we speak. In fact, I must confess, a lot of this election is marred with a lot of issue of ethnicity, seriously. And thank God that the soldiers, when soldiers come in for this particular election, a lot of us, because of what we know that happened in 2003 general election,
2019.
we are at 2019, we are skeptical, but I must confess, and at the same time, I need to give kudos for the first time to Nigerian police. I need to give a very
there was a massive deployment.
In fact, apart from being massive deployment, they got there very.
Yeah.
I can tell you there is no polling unit we are going to get to, that we got to, and we did not see police officers, and they were so civil, even in their approach, even on the way. Upon seeing us being journalists, and they have to check our booth, they have to ask us, sorry, we are doing our job, we know you are journalists, and they did that peacefully and with a kind of civil. But at the polling unit, I must give kudos to Commissioner of Police and also Inspector General of Police, because one thing there is, this is a time that we are now seeing them in new shape. In the past, we know how police officers even normally assist politicians to even truncate electoral process. But in Lagos State and the Lagos East that I covered, I can basically beat my chest that in this particular one, police has really scored a very high post.
All right. Thank you very much. We are still trying to get in touch with our correspondent in Benue State. We've not been able to get them. I think we should try to get another person. We'll see if we can get someone else, because we keep getting
another state, maybe like Adamawa.
No, but the issue is we keep getting messages from people that they are trying to reach their people in Benue and they are not able to reach them, and then we also can't reach our correspondent. So we need to know what is happening in Benue State. All right, but then keep calm, just keep calm. We'll definitely do what we can to get information for you in Benue. I know you're a little bit, you know what, you're a bit uncomfortable with the silence that you're getting from your family members, but then keep calm, stay with us, we'll get in touch with you. All right, also someone here, I want to know what is happening in Enugu State. Dan from Iba. All right, let's reach Stella once again. Yes, we've spoken with Stella in Enugu already, but then for Dan, let's reach Stella again. We'll also reach out to some of our other correspondents outside Lagos to know what is trending in their states. Okay, so stay with us. We'll be having Nwede Stella Maris joining us very soon, reporting from Enugu. Yes, good evening, Stella. Thank you very much for joining in on the show once again. This is Mila 98.3 FM.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. Okay, what's the update in Enugu State?
So far, some of the polling units are now announcing the results, counting the results.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And Labour Party is taking the lead.
Stella. Why? We didn't ask for that. All right, but thank you very much. We appreciate. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, but I wanted to ask her if voting is still ongoing in different parts of the country. Please, these are our colleagues on the job. We expect that they would know that they would know better. Please, these are our colleagues. We're not just calling anybody in this state. We are calling, journalists, All right, so we expect that you understand, what is expected of us journalists. Please, we don't want to know who is leading. We just want to know what is the situation of things in your states on ground. That's all we want to know. Please, let's be careful. Would really appreciate that.
And I think I need to give kudos to EFCC.
Okay, yes.
I must confess. From part of Yaba and down to part of Bariga, Shomolu, local government to Koshofe. In fact, the way they use 2 layers of overseeing and monitoring the activities. They have some certain members that are on plain clothes at different locations, especially locations that personalities, political chieftains.
Flashpoints.
So they make sure they set them there. Then after that, then you now see them roving around. Normal their operation uniform, not the one in red that people normally know. They have a kind of uniform, especially if you've been to their office, you will have seen it with their guards. They now move around, and when they move around, they will not go straight to that polling unit. They will go around in the corners and will see what people may be doing in one house. Then they will now call some voters. Maybe those people that have voted, they will not call. Did anybody induce you one way or the other? Those plain clothes, they wouldn't even know. Are they giving money there to vote? I want to vote too. They use that kind of style very, very well, and I really give them kudos. Upon that, they are not much, but they could be able to touch other area. By the time we left Koshofe, we met them at Ikorodu. There are some 3 or 4 other wards that we went to in Ikorodu where we met them there. Strategically with plain clothes, and that one also play a major role in some certain way that a lot of people will know. I know a particular polling unit that the man was rushing, running. When he just run, people were thinking maybe they were fighting in another polling unit. He just came down, EFCC is around, EFCC is around. When he mentioned that, the politicians among them, they have to stand very well or whatever, and that is the thing. But and I'm confess, maybe politicians have used another way of vote buying, apart from buying sausage, soft drink, and there are some that have done pre-vote buying.
Pre-election day,
and there are some certain ones that have done, because I know a particular location in Ikorodu where after voting, I discovered that all those people that voted in that particular, they were going towards the end of that particular street. So I have to follow them.
What's happening there?
That anybody that voted, they will just to that street, and it's a junction that you can go on your own way. Everybody is just going.
What are they going to?
So I now went there to see what they are doing. I just discovered that immediately I get in front of one particular house, they just lock the front door.
You saw the logo.
So they lock the front door. So I just move and stay around there. I want to see those people that will come and
people are entering a building and they are not coming out.
No, so it's not that they are coming into a building. What happened was that in a place where they have like 2 polling units, I discovered that
they are entering one place.
Immediately they finish voting.
They're going to enter one
place. There is a street towards one. There is another street here. There is another. I discovered that everybody that finished voting, they are going towards this way.
Everybody.
If they finish voting like this, they will go towards this way. Something is happening there.
That's the missing link.
And now I have to follow them to that particular place. And I discovered that in front of the house, center. I saw that they have to lock a particular door. And for the fact
why
that
they not allow you enter?
No, I did not enter. But immediately they saw me. They just locked the ender, and because I don't want them to sue me for that, so I stood there. Maybe that there are some certain building that
there's a way out.
There is a way out behind. I discovered that since the period we left there, they did not open the front door. Maybe they were going through the back door. I don't know, because that house is also adjacent to another road at the back. Because I later knew that, but I could know that I've not seen physically. We are apart from sharing sausages, soft drink, which one we know that one is so much.
Maybe everybody was going to visit someone at the hospital. Yes. So but then the fact that people are disappearing into one building after voting, that's very conspicuous. But then you should have.
That's a command center.
You should have entered.
No, just something
ordinarily. Ordinarily, assuming it is within Agege, Orile Agege, Alimosho,
you'll be safe.
I will enter.
No, you know what happened. No, let me explain what happened to you. Those people have there's a command center, and these people have robotics, AI, artificial intelligence, so they are controlling them. They voted, come to the house, let's debug you. So they went for debugging.
And another thing again that I noticed very well is this: as much as towards the morning 7-8 restricting of movement, I must tell you, from Ojota down to a Greek bus stop, a lot of football field on that road freely. Football field, youths are playing good football on the main road.
Was it after they had voted?
No. Even vote some certain polling units along that road. They've not even seen materials. Talk less of being INEC officials at that particular time. They were voting. They were playing football.
As at what time are we talking about?
We are talking about between let's say 9:30 and 11. They were playing good football on the road. A lot of teams are playing on that particular road.
We need to quickly put something out there because people are requesting for updates for us from Nasarawa, Jos, Cross River, Akwa Ibom. We've gotten information from Akwa Ibom. Yes, we got information from Nelson Uyo. He gave us some details. I don't know, maybe you had not tuned in by then. We've already gotten that. For Plateau, we'll get in touch with Comrade Sankara once again. Yes, so that we can get details from Plateau. For Cross River, we haven't gotten anything yet. For Nasarawa, we haven't, but we can get in touch with someone in Abuja who can possibly give us some details for Abuja and Nasarawa State. All right, thank you very much for everyone who is interested in knowing what is going on as regards this elections on the field. All right, presidential and national assessing details. I think you should have.
Evening, how are you? Cool. I mean, the fact that in some polling units, like I said in the morning, the INEC officials came about 221, about 700. Like we're going to a whole lot of people around my axis have not voted. Like I said, my polling unit has 700. That's where we are currently.
All right. Thank you very much. Today, or
the INEC officials come online, educated pin. To ensure.
Is it possible? Do you have any reports for Nasarawa State?
At various situations we've actually seen has been Lagos. People also actually raining in Abuja. I mean, it's like the first rain in the city, so you can feel
staying determined to cast their votes.
Yeah, in some places has over 4,000 people present. There was actually very little. For some polling units where you have tarpaulins, you have chairs provided. People are still there, but I mean, people have to take cover because of the weather.
All right then. Thank you very much, Mr. Damlari. I really appreciate.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Hopefully, by the time we hear from you again, you would have cast your vote.
Hopefully, I pray so.
Right. Thank you very much. Yes, that's Damlari Murakinyo giving us update from Abuja. Apparently, so far, the major hotspots where there seems to be some sort of inconveniences is Lagos, Imo, and we had something from Abia and also Enugu.
And we had something from Bayelsa. We had something from Port Harcourt. So the polling unit was cancelled. Fit said that to us.
All right. Yes, that's true. Remember that. All right, thank you very much. The reports are still pouring in. Stay with us. 0913-6000-430 as we are speaking now live at the International Conference Center. The chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, is giving his address. We'll see how we can connect to that, and if we can't, don't worry. Would ensure that we give you all of the updates right here on 98.3 Mainland FM. So stay with us, don't go anywhere. We need to know what exactly the true situation of things is, because as at now, voting is still ongoing in different parts of the country. This is 6 minutes to 5 p.m. and there are still major parts of Lagos that are still voting. We have thousands of people still queued up at voting at polling units, ready to exercise their civic duties. So this is getting interesting. Also, we have the fact that there are different parts, polling units where there are different parts of Nigeria where polling units have been totally cancelled. There are different parts of Nigeria where we also hear that INEC materials, INEC staff did not even get to the before he could cast his vote, not because of queues or anything, but because the INEC officials did not arrive on time. That's the situation, to the point that the DG of the World Trade Center also had to give a tweet that she's currently at a polling unit somewhere in Abia State and the INEC officials have not arrived. So this is not as it is now, the very unexpected, unfortunate situation. All right, but then the INEC chairman is saying that hitches in the voting process will be resolved and that no one will be disenfranchised. But Mr. Chairman, we have thousands of people who are yet to cast their vote due to the fact that INEC staff officials, resumed to polling units 2 hours after voting was supposed to have ended.
And there are some that they did not even show up to their place of primary assignment.
That's what we say at all. They
did not show up.
They didn't even come at all. And we even got one report that some people had to go and pick their own INEC official.
No, there are a lot of places like that.
They had to go and pick the person by themselves.
Yes, they have to go and pick because the logistic problem still becoming problem. Even in the polling units that the DG in charge of diaspora also voted in that particular polling unit too. I think one particular man has to go and supervise the movement of the INEC officials down to that particular polling unit, and they started I think around there after 12. So and that one also really called for a lot of things. A lot of places in Etiosa that in fact the voters themselves, they are instrumental to how INEC officials were being moved to the polling unit. There are a lot of them.
They have to go and pick them.
They have to go and pick them. Some have to assist them. Some have to go and use their money to rent tent. There was a particular polling unit. Core members were sitting under the scorching sun and attending to people.
Then a quick one from me based on what we're saying about Bayelsa. Right from the INEC chairman's briefing, he acknowledged that 4 wards that has a consist of 140 polling units are still waiting materials in Bayelsa, but they've mandated, hoping they will get there, and election will commence.
When?
And they will now do it overnight.
Why would voting happen? Nuruddin, voting happened during the day in some parts, and they still had thugs coming in to scatter things. Talk less of night.
No, I've seen elections being done in the night. Yes, now.
No, there was one that happened in 2015.
In 2011, even in 2019, in Eseldo, when they have to go and ambush those people taken from, in fact, they are going to Shawores town.
Yeah, they ambush INEC.
They have to ambush them. They made sure that they took. I think they got there around 6:30, and they started voting. I think they finished voting maybe around 11. So it happens, and that is that's just calling you. So how do we want to rationalize if election material is about to get to a particular place as we speak, and they are going to there, and they have over 500 over 2,000 that have to vote.
140 polling units.
Automatically, it's tomorrow they will finish that particular election. And how can we make sure that, how can we ascertain that election is going to be credible?
All right, thank you very much. So Okwayemi Akionde, who was covering Lagos West.
And I was using bedroom voice. Very unusual. Okpa doesn't have a man's name.
It sounded tired.
No, Okpa doesn't have a man's name. I was wondering why that soft voice. Okpa is up for.
And he came in looking really energized. That's interesting.
So that means it was deceitful.
It's okay.
Manipulative.
It's okay. Deyemi Saka. It's okay. All right, Okwayemi, good to have you in the studio. What's the situation? What's the wrap up? Are we still voting? Are people still voting right now?
Yes, we have to just come in to refuel and recharge. We'll be heading towards the collation center now at the INEC office at Yaba very soon, so that we'll continue to give update from there till maybe when they call the election eventually. But I've actually followed the conversation in the studio, and I'm not going to lie, the turnout today, well, I'm not surprised though. I just feel maybe Lagosians may want to disappoint me. I've always thought there was going to be a possibility of having voter apathy, and then we saw that today. There were places with registered voters as much as 1,800 and 127 people would come out to vote. And of course, all of the issues, the logistics problem. Imagine INEC, staff, INEC ad hoc and officials arriving at a polling unit around 2 p.m. when an election is supposed to end by 2:30.
I'm so sorry. I mean, we have reports from Edo State. We have reports from Abuja.
Some part of Lagos, they've not even seen material.
As a matter of fact, Bayelsa.
That's the most interesting one. 5 minutes
five
to the
different polling units.
INEC office. 5 minutes drive to INEC office. No election material.
Some of the places that we covered around along Okota, Ijubu side, they said the residents had to mobilize themselves with the help of police officers. They had to go carry the staff themselves. And then, unfortunately, in fact, there were polling units I got to where they gave them incomplete materials. There was no cubicle. Yes. That means you couldn't do secret ballots. They gave them only one stamp. And some of them don't even have result sheets, which is supposed to be one of the most important thing you would have coming into any election. So I'm asking, where would you report the result? Where will you document them? I think a lot of things need to be checked. I was always making so much statement as regards this election that's supposed to be the best in our modern democratic history, maybe from 1999
I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you, Okwe. We have people that came out from their homes as early as 7 a.m. They were ready to cast their vote, and some of them did not see INEC officials until 3:45 p.m.
Some of them left without seeing INEC officials.
Fuad Sahid, welcome to the studio. What was the experience?
Well, thank you, Sandra. Very interesting times ahead of us, really. I must say that I expected much more than this, I have to say. One I thought that with all the energy and the promises from INEC, they would have been better prepared in terms of what they would deliver in terms of the elections. Again, I saw a lot of glitch in preparation, I must say. Somehow there are parts of Lagos that we had very smooth elections, I must say. For example, Surulere seems to be very, very okay, very good. Or most parts of Surulere that we visited, from Iponri Estate in Surulere to parts of Masha, Adeniro Ogunsoya.
Get to my son at grammar school.
So I didn't no incident, no polling unit votes were being counted. In fact, some had concluded count of votes and they were being lead and all of that. So Sule looked very, very good. I must also say that Lagos mainland was also very good. I'm talking about Ebutemeta West and East. Even part of Okeolu towards
that's home for you now.
Yeah, that's home for me. I had to I had to even stop by to see my dad at some point to say, okay, well, I'm around, and people were happy to not eat, just say hello, so it was all looking very, very good on in most parts of Lagos mainland. I'm talking about Butemeta and all that axis. They had concluded voting, I think, around 2:30, 3 o'clock, all waiting to just count their votes, tally the results and all of that. The same thing for Lagos Island, and I'm talking about real Lagos Island now. Okepopo, Campus, Glover, Misaleko, Simpson, In fact, it was. I saw the way INEC distributed their polling units.
It was very strategic.
Very strategic. It was almost like 3 houses from
almost. Somebody
everywhere.
said
There was a polling unit.
house.
I'm telling you, in Lagos Island, and the turnout was also very good. They were all organized. Of course, the Lagos Island thing. There was a lot of partying too.
What about the
merry
new Lagos
making?
Island? The new Lagos Island.
No. Well, I think Nuruddin gave us the new Lagos Island, Victoria Island, but Ikoyi too. Sorry, I had to talk about Ikoyi. I think there's a bit of problem with Ikoyi because
a lot.
Voter apathy in Ikoyi was high, you know, because again a lot of the polling units you find registration 700.
163.
160 is even good. 33. There was a particular polling unit, number of registered voters 730 something, and number of accredited voters who had voted 33, and that was all. So again, you wonder, and I think Deyemi Saka said maybe because of the commercial nature of that place, a lot of people who register they don't only work there, they don't reside there. So voting day, they are not there. So the same thing Lekki Phase 1. But the turnout in Lekki Phase 1 was very, very good, Sandra. Very, very good. It was huge, but I think they have limited polling units. So I think what INEC did was to just put maybe a number of polling units to capture the number of voters that we have there. But it turned out very well. The energy was good, security was good, and also well organized for an elitist environment like Lekki Phase 1. So
I just want to, sorry, apologies. I just want to quickly, bring something up. It's almost 6 p.m. when this is 6 minutes gone past hour of 5 right now, and normally movement is supposed to have been relaxed by 6 p.m. with so many polling units still have elections ongoing. I know that Mahmoud Yakubu is currently addressing us, but then what would you say would be happening to all of these polling units that still have their elections going on, even as security agents have to start relaxing movement by 6 p.m.?
Well, if I want to use polling unit 074 or 081 in VI, especially at the back of ShopRite, as an example, they will not finish this particular vote until maybe past 8 or past 9. Because when we left there, we still have over 300 that have not even voted, that are still sitting down. Then another thing again is this. There are some certain areas, especially in part of Ikoyi, that INEC needs to rework on the number of voters. Like for what I directly said, in let's say 3 polling units in a particular place, one will have 35 registered voter, one will have 1,750, while one I have the one of 15 person, and only 2 person came around
to vote.
15. How can you make 15
a polling unit?
A polling unit 35, and beside it within the same compound you have 1,750. The Ikoyi Lim Bridge that you talked about, there is a place by the left before you get to one particular place where they normally sell fish beside the water like this. That particular place, they have 3 polling units there. One is 50. Out of that 50, 20 came. The one in the middle, 1,655.
So the distribution of
the man have to all of them after 50 with that 20, they then move to 1,000, and there is another one 700. So another thing again is that coming late to a place where it's saturated with number of voters, it now becoming problem. As we left that particular place, in fact, those ones they've called those people that will do asun, the one that will do potato, they were not in an enclosed place, because I think they said they started maybe around 1 o'clock, and there's still a lot of more. One thing there is this: if the issue of relaxing the movement comes into being, what will be the fate of those people that are still having election now? And the way some INEC officials, I think what INEC officials in Lagos State did not, there are some certain NYSC officials that did not show up too.
We read it earlier in the day, this morning, that about over 100 NYSC members dropped out in Imo State. Just Imo State alone. So just the fact, they were concerned about the security and all of that. So when you have situations like that, maybe do you think that could contribute to why there are some polling units that do not have
Why are you laughing now, Sandra? Why are you making me feel like a bad person? But I will say this. There is something called critical thinking, crisis management. It is not today. Or insecurity and all this, they are
contingency plan,
idiotic, sit at home, trying to enforce it violently. Didn't start yesterday. It's been home for over a year. And there's somebody that calls himself INEC chairman. And there's another person that calls himself the resident electoral commissioner.
Okay.
And the least qualification they have is probably a PhD, and one is a professor. And cannot think. And these are people that are meant to be certified researchers, that are meant to look at things, ponder on issues, and analyze and come up with probable solutions. They could not think of how they could expand their ad hoc staff or staffing process, or even INEC itself. They could not think of another process or other process to, think out the process to make election or electioneering easier. They still went through the rigorous process of everything, and they are now saying you're not coming a day 100 people drop that. Do you think if I'm a parent I'll allow my child to go and work in Imo, even Ogun State, or obviously not even Lagos? So what are you saying? So this thing just starts today. It's been there. Anybody that is sensible enough, that has a minimum IQ expected of an average human being, would have said this 2 months, 3 months before now, and have a contingency plan. You can't tell me they're overwhelmed with it, but they're just busy shouting, we've not our budget has not been approved, we need money, we need this. Okay, now you've gotten the money or monies, you've been mobilized, CBN did everything. Now as INEC, you failed Nigerians.
Well, Sandra, I think that luckily I think INEC too, again, I want to agree a bit with Deyemi Saka, because again, when it comes to contingency planning, you must have considered all of these things, all of the issues that we're talking about, insecurity, the black spots. Sandra, we talked a lot about black spots, areas, troubled areas with probable problems and all of that. And what I thought that there would have been enough contingency plans to mitigate effects and all of these kind of things. But I think that we may see a lot of extension of voting beyond today to maybe tomorrow morning. Yes. I think INEC is going to do that a lot, especially in areas where voting has not taken place. Or maybe till Monday. I think that is very possible.
With voting still ongoing.
No, for people that are ongoing, my only fear is that in areas, for example, there are places in Amuwodofi, close to Apple Junction, some polling units around that area, that voting commenced around 3:30, and the voting population I saw there, the people were on queue to vote were up close to 1,000. So I suspect that in that area, I suspect that, and the voting process is not the old way of things, where you just come, they check the register, and they give you ballot, and you go and cast and vote and go. Now Beavers has to work. In fact, what I heard in one of the polling units is that even the voting paper has not arrived. My fear is that if that comes, what happens in that place?
I think it's Nigeria that will just get certifications and just get these degrees and what have you without even putting them to use, or the expertise to use. What is the duty, the function of a project manager? You want to have an election, there's nobody that's involved that is saddled with the responsibility of project management to come up with charts of this at this stage, at this level. And now INEC has come up with beavers, and this is moving forward because it cannot happen now. Is there no way that you come up with a system that as a prospective electorate or voter, I can access the beavers, get the thing, it sends me a short code, and I get to wherever, or probably a screenshot of it, I get to the polling unit, and I show the guy.
Or a reference number.
Like a reference number.
Impute it and vote online.
No, not even. Okay, just even let me get the since. Okay, if you still want us to, because INEC is so much in love with marriage with hardship for Nigerians. They must always get you to one remote location. So if that is even what you want, let me do some other thing. Because I was on the platform with the head of the voters education, was it Festus Okoye, and I told him, I said, I can sit down. When a lot of banks were not up to it, A lot of Nigerians are opening digital banks account. A lot of us have digital bank accounts that you don't even know their office. All you just open, you just sit down there, place your phone across, you snap a picture, upload the thing, and you upload it with your BV, and you have an account functioning and running. If this microeconomic entities are doing such a thing, what about INEC? Why is INEC wants to? Why use this marriage with hardship in love? You must go to this. Why? And his response was the National Assembly did not give them the enabling laws. But beyond that, if you need to tell, if you're adamant as an institution that this is what you need to make election work in Nigeria, I think at some point the National Assembly will bow to the pressure. Where is the budget for communications in INEC? Who is responsible for the perception management in INEC? These are things you should have pushed out, and Nigerians would have called on the representatives to do the needful. But now we've messed. Whether we like, away from the excitement of Nigerians, I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom, but we've messed up this process. We've succeeded in casting huge doubt on the integrity of this election, whether we like it or not. Forget about the excitement, thumb chesting and everything. As far as I'm concerned, this election is watery, is whacked, and cannot stand the test of time.
Then in addition, a street like Oyediran Street in Sabo Yaba, where they finish the election, just to start counting, some hoodlums came around and everything become ruffle.
And by consent electoral, that polling unit stands cancelled.
Stand cancelled, and they must redo that election. It's not only being cancelled, the new electoral law. Then another thing, the ad hoc staff. I got to see one thing at Shomolu INEC office this morning. I don't know, maybe INEC in Abuja gave room for INEC officials at LG level to outsource those people that will be PO and SO. I have my reasons.
I think they did.
Ordinarily, no. Based on rules, they are to go on website. They are to apply because they did training for them even before this particular one. There are some, because immediately we got there, we met some certain people there. So I have to interview them one after the other. What are you still doing? Are you not going to? So they asked me to come. That I'm going to supervise election. I'm going to be polling unit supervisor. I asked the other man the same thing. The other man, who call you? Madam, she mentioned one name. Another person. And I saw materials on ground.
Sensitive material.
I still have them on ground. These are the people that are not captured. If INEC pays, who is going to collect their money? Because they don't have any record with INEC. What of if those ones sabotage
the process?
Who is going to be held responsible? Because those ones that are trained, that are well documented, they have their address, they have their phone number, they have their BVN, they have their account.
All right.
So that is another thing. I saw them. I took my time with the other colleague. We have to ask them one after the other. They are saying the same, that they were called. Even one said he was just called this morning that he should be coming there. They are going to office. In fact, the person said you should sit down. That come and that you have one person you are going to attach to.
Yeah, and I think just like in the military, I don't know if you have it in Nigeria, in America, there's something called the reserves. When INEC was enlisting or recruiting ad hoc staff on this one, did they even think that there's a need for them to have a reserve where they can pull people from as contingency plan? But no, Atinida is always lacking in Nigeria.
Just a quick update because the chairman of INEC has just concluded his media briefing, press briefing just a couple of minutes ago. And what we have is that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu confirms that voting will continue in parts of Yenugwa in Bayelsa State tomorrow on Sunday, 26th of February 2023. I mean, we can't, over 100 and something thousand people.
140, 140
100,000.
polling unit.
440 polling units. Thank you. Over 140 polling units did not get
forwards.
That was like the whole of Bayelsa now.
No, that's all of Yenogwa.
That's the whole of Yenogwa.
Yenogwa is Bayelsa.
When you remove Yenogwa and Sabana, what you
No, the voting commenced in Sabana.
but when you remove Yenogwa, what you mean?
It's that Bayelsa case and Enugu's case is fantastic. In a ward, in a polling unit, they have 6,000 registered voters. INEC came with 1,100 and something
materials.
So they'll be able to clean up some of this.
But what of those areas in Lagos that the election did not take place?
It's okay. It's okay.
No,
that's the thing now. If you want to make
chairman confirms that voting continues in parts of Yenogwa tomorrow, and also voting continues in parts of Enugu, Abia, where the process was earlier scuttled by hoodlums. So. It's just a couple of minutes. Yesterday was that doesn't finish today, but then due to INEC themselves, delaying themselves in one way or the other, now we have voting still ongoing in different parts of the country.
Sandra, I think I took this upon myself. That's an advocacy I'll be pushing forward at any given opportunity. I met a friend of mine, an MP from Ghana. And the moment he said that, the thing struck a chord in me. He said something about early voting. He said in Ghana that security agencies vote 2 weeks before the general elections, because whether you like it or not, they are citizens of the country and they must have a say in it. Moving forward, we cannot think about it in 2023. No, God forbid. 2027, hopefully, let's see how that can happen, because these police officers, civil defense, Nigerian army, they are victims or beneficiaries of either bad government or good government policies.
So they're being disenfranchised.
So please, we should find a way to get them.
Well,
into the system.
Conclusion from INEC chairman is that there may not be another opportunity to address Nigerians today. However,
he needs to rest.
The collation center will be open.
It's already open, yeah. But he needs to go and rest. I can understand.
Why are you laughing?
I understand the pressure Professor Mahmoud
pressure
is under right now.
He's under pressure.
I know he's under pressure because again,
who's the pressure on him?
If you are in charge of an election this big, of course, this is the most populous black country in the world. Black
87 million people collected.
But the money the agency collected is much too.
So beyond the money, honestly, it's not going to be everywhere in the country making things work. Of course, he must have delegated, hoping that people would deliver, and of course, some of the. I know somehow he should, and INEC should be able to clean the mess. I'm sure that
they have a lot of messes.
I'm sure there are contingency plans on how to clean some of this mess. But by and large, from
were there no EFCC officials on ground at that particular unit?
I think I observed that after the EFCC officials has gone.
Assuming they've
not gone, I will have.
No. I think I saw a lot of. Again, it depends on the voting culture in different places, and I'm not making excuses for these things. Like I said, I was in Lagos Island, and it was like a jamboree. It was like
it's a normal thing in Lagos Island.
So and I got to Ikori, for example. I got to Ikori, and there was a mix of voters supporting different political parties. So you had Party A with its own agents giving out food. Yes. You had Party B too on the side giving out.
Was anybody sharing pizza?
No, it was more of everybody felt it was a normal.
I think you guys are going about. I want to push a case again. I think it's obvious that Nigerians, or not. Let me rephrase it. Politicians are not willing to change. I think there's now reason for us to tinker the Electoral Act. And there's a need for security agents assigned to polling units to bear arms. Okay, they are also endangered by these activities of these touts. They should, and the numbers should increase. By the time you have like 4-5 policemen attached to a polling unit and they're all bearing AK-47, that's like 19 rounds there, or 21 rounds times 4. It's something. That will go a long way in reducing the population of idiots and maniacs.
On the highland, especially Victoria Island, a lot of officers at the polling units, they have gone with them.
A lot of them had guns. Like I said, there was a huge military presence, Sandra.
No, the soldiers tried.
They were everywhere.
No.
And like the fact that they were
those of Malai Bono are not on VI. They are not in VI.
Not in VI. I'm talking about Oshodi. Even the Oshodi that reports of
even on this our road.
Even our road, the Ikorodu road was you had strong military presence.
Were they at
most parts, yes, Fadeyi.
Because
Shomolu.
Somebody said something about Afari Ogun. That he called the is it the what can we call it, the short code security agent, that 737 still happened.
Well, what the report that we're getting is Mushin was actually too peaceful today, which was actually encouraging to some.
Yeah, Mushin was very peaceful. Yes,
that boy is on the ballot.
Mushin was peaceful. Mushin was peaceful.
Really peaceful.
Even
today.
Lagos Island was peaceful.
That's
the
interesting.
was peaceful. So
thinking that Tayo Daudu is the one giving that particular report. But then I'm having here now that there was a fight that ensued. In Anambra State, Orumba North local government area, Nanka Ward 1, that a fight ensued between voters and INEC officials due to the fact that they came to the polling units without results. They came to the polling units with ballot papers that didn't have a particular party logo.
Well, I don't know, because again, we had that issue in the morning when some
but
voters
that's senatorial. So, I mean, is it across board?
I thought that, some people try to rationalize the idea of INEC removing logo of political parties that didn't fill any persons for elective positions.
Because the presidential ballot paper had, the logos
but
complete.
I'm looking at the usual logistics here, and I have my fears that
they're not printed.
This could be muddled up. It would have been better for them to play safe.
Do you know why I would agree with Fuad to some certain extent?
In trying to sort this.
Because, we got pictures here, that someone sent and said that, look, how will you have one ballot paper, only 2 have their names written, the remaining few that also have their name written in small letter, then only one party, the same party that we're looking for is logo, the name is not even written at all, but the logo is on the paper.
Well, that's another thing. It depends on the way the logo is designed. I'm not even talking about that. What I'm saying is that the idea of INEC not to get the logo of a party, not fielding a candidate for a position on the ballot paper, for me, could bring logistic issues. And what I'm saying is that, look, you may now have them make a mistake to remove the logo of a party in a place where they fielded a candidate. And I felt that they would have just played safe. Just put the 18 in.
There is nothing called. This thing is not done yesterday. It's not done 2 weeks ago. There are a lot of back and forth. They must see the prototype before they went printing. And one thing there is this: if you don't realize,
Nuruddin, you do realize that hundreds of printers were contracted for printing of ballot papers. It's not just one particular person that printed all the ballot papers.
So if they want to print this, we know how printing is done. Even if you are calling for 1 million printers, before they will give you anything, they will give you a prototype.
The plates.
You take it as it does not reach the issue of the plate.
I'm not even talking about
the design
prototype. I'm talking about sorting, arrangement and deployment of material.
In that case, to be safe, not better to put the party everywhere.
That's what I'm saying now. That look, instead of,
because now what it means is that their party will go to court. Because if you don't that's the thing.
I'm not even talking about court. I'm saying that look, it's better for them to have
put it there.
Would that not disturb the numbers? Because so for example, now I have Deyemi Saka, I have Fuad Said, and I have Nuruddin all going for posts. Unfortunately, something happened to Adeyemi's candidacy, so he was not viable, or to be on the ballot, and then his logo was still on the paper.
Is that a problem?
People will still vote for him.
Is it valid?
Can I just ask? Fuad.
That's invalid vote.
Fuad. Nuruddin, Sandra. Maybe I've been lost, because you probably know that it was a deliberate thing to shut out campaign activities away from my life. But I'm just hearing for the first time, and I'm saying this, and this is me being shameless about it, that INEC contracted the printing of election ballot paper election ballot paper.
I don't know. Again,
we treated that report 2 months ago.
And I was like, so the question is, and it's such a sensitive material. What happens to the National Security Printing and Minting Corporation?
The Mint.
A lot of things has been happening. Even there are some states that have a printing company, but when they want to print
printing,
if they don't have the capacity,
print NMP. No,
if they don't have the capacity,
they do. Don't. So this one I'll bite you.
It's not.
I won't fight.
If they don't have the capacity,
it's not new naira.
No, one thing there is no. Even the one of new naira notes also, we know how it is.
No,
is it printed in Nigeria?
No, it is not as common, not something as simple as the ballot paper, and that would have maintained the standard.
Maybe because of compromise.
Okay, so
who will not compromise it at the national security and
they did not compromise naira.
What could be the situation now? Because we have, if Anambra is also complaining that a particular party logo was not found on their ballot paper, and then you have the same situation in Lagos. I mean, what exactly could have been the situation? You can't tell me that it's the same situation that they had in Lagos that they have in Anambra.
Well, for me,
the only one that we have that we know that everybody knows, and there's been a suspension of, that's Enugu East Senatorial District.
You know the good thing about it, we've just been able to, we've just successfully made a very simple task horrendous, cumbersome, and
complicated,
unresolved.
Then another thing again is this, that we need to look at: is there an issue where some certain staff of INEC, either ad hoc, either the normal permanent staff, they've compromised in one way? The reason why I'm asking this particular question is this: a particular place in Victoria Island that the INEC officials came around, set a tent, put chairs there.
All right.
People sat down and they said they are coming, and they left, and nothing happened till when we left as we speak.
I don't mean to cut you short, Nuruddin, but I just have this update still from the briefing of the INEC chairman. It's important that we put this out there. So the Independent National Electoral Commission has given reasons why the opening of polling units was delayed by election officials. According to the commission, insecurity in some states led to delays as well as logistic issues. This was the chairman also said that thugs attacked 3 polling units and carted away 5 BVAS devices.
Sorry, wait. Okay.
You know, again, Sandra, we've talked about the fact that INEC can do everything within their powers to ensure we have a good election, but it does not all rest in their hands. The president also has to step up and ensure that adequate security is provided. They don't have control over security.
Fuad,
yes.
We saw the deployment of new vehicles, a lot of foot soldiers, being deployed into the country just some few days before the elections. And here we are now. INEC is coming forward to say that insecurity did not allow our officials come out.
I'm sure Deyemi has numbers of our strength, our security strength as a nation. I just spoke with a number of persons. I said, look, deployment of police, how many policemen do we have? This is general election.
That's why they deployed NIS.
No, look, even the army, the NDLE, and of course the few NDLE guys I saw were not even armed. They were just there maybe to observe. A few FCC guys I saw were just there, observing and nothing much. So you ask yourself, even military deployment, how many of them can we deploy for elections?
I think the solution to this, the shortcut to this, is let policemen at polling units bear arms.
But I also think that Deyemi suggested something interesting that I think we need to look into, and I don't know why we are not looking in that direction. In fact, the idea of BVAS is good, it's technology, but I was thinking of early voting, which Deyemi suggested, but he limited it only to our military personnel and all of that, our security personnel who are also supposed at least to cast their vote. But can we also do a form of e-voting for some of our elitist class, people that are at least educated enough to be able. Look, technology can solve a lot of problems. There's even mail voting.
No, don't with NIPOs. Don't let us try it.
No, it might not be with NIPOs, Deyemi, so that it reduces the numbers. It doesn't have to be with NIPOs. I don't know why. NIPOs guys will not be happy with you. I don't know why you.
Why did you have to do that?
And I didn't say NIPOs. And it could be NIPOs, you know. We could even have it.
Mail will last.
Sorry. I will take this person. Do you know how many people that their packages
They'll prep them for it. They'll prep them for it.
No, they can't. And they won't.
So let me just give my idea there, please. And I didn't say NIPOs when I said mail ballots.
I just knocked out my
I didn't say.
It's okay.
But what I'm saying is that, look, Sandra,
maybe
even as a journalist, it pains me that I couldn't vote today. Yes. If there was mail balloting, for example, I could have just mailed my ballot.
Just stick to e-voting.
E-voting?
Or e-voting?
No, but it's his opinion. Let him have.
We have
courier services. There are courier services that can do. You know,
duplicate it.
But the reality is that I think we will begin to look at, because again, introduction of beavers and all of that is a good one. Electronic transmission of results, which I don't think is really electronic transmission of anything anyways, was also we just, you know, but the reality is that we need to look at e-voting if there are ways. But again,
early voting too.
Early vote, so these things come early. So on elections day, just a few persons you find on queues and all of that.
And even that gives an idea of what the process will look like and the outcome will look like.
I think I like the idea that we're toying with, because what we have now is that the INEC chairman is telling us that the attacks by the thugs were targeted at beavers. They only went there, they didn't care about the ballot papers, they were there for beavers. Because at the end of the day, when voting is done, beavers is used to upload.
So what you need to do now, what's INEC doing about the stolen beavers? Because there should be something that will definitely disconnect those beavers from the server.
It's very important.
It's very important.
So I'm looking at it from a lot of angles here. PVCs, you know, we've always
Yes.
We always had that conversation that what are people collecting people's PVC for?
Now this is why they're collecting it.
Are you going where I'm
But
going?
again, I think that beavers is structured in a way where, look, you need to thumbprint. And of course,
the two-step authenticate, that's facial recognition,
either of the two,
and
fingerprints and all of that. So even if you take someone's
you can't use
voter card, how do you
but you know what happens? They don't know.
They just want to do it.
You see, that's the sad part. And maybe the top man they think they're doing this thing for knows is aware. But you see those foot. Sorry, those don't believe that
they may not know.
They don't. They just think, okay, they saw that we will do this about
it. But you know what we also discussed, and I think Sandra will remember this. We said, look, what beavers will do is to stop ballot stuffing and overvoting, quote and unquote.
Yes.
And we saw that overvoting still happened because people compromise the system. Yes. But what we know beavers will not stop is that, look, it will not stop voter intimidation and voter suppression. And what it will mean is, if security is not adequate and you allow people go into polling areas, disrupt elections, snatch ballot boxes and destroy them, or chase people with guns and all of that, there's nothing beavers can do about that. Look at the scenario. I think one of the reports we got from maybe Deyemi or so, that look, voting was, they had finished voting, counting was going on, people came and snatched beavers.
Yes, that's at 050.
So because beavers in itself can protect itself.
You can't forget. It's important.
So beavers would not stop that kind of action.
Just like I didn't forget about, we are still looking for Eskilo Akili.
You know, so the reality is that beavers has its own limitations.
Of course.
Although it's a good introduction into our electoral process, but I think security concerns seems to be the major issue now. The fact that, look, there are still security concerns in areas, and that has hampered the peaceful conduct of the elections. I don't know how we're going to move forward, because even if you postpone the elections till tomorrow, and the issue of security in those areas are not resolved,
it's unresolved.
There's a problem.
Thank you very much. I was going to go there, because if security is the problem, if that is the situation, then has it been resolved?
And how do you resolve it?
Because one thing there is, although any one-off election like that, what Nigerian police normally do is that they will bombard the place with a lot of officers. And one thing there is this, that they don't know. When our Inspector General of Police through 300 and I said, if you remove 310 from the one that we have that is not up to 400, how many one that remains? The one that has to be police officers, do you have up to 400? Then another thing again is that there are some certain structures that we don't put in place. Is the one that is making something that is working in another country not workable in our own environment. You cannot police a country that you said is over 200 million with 400,000, less than 400,000 police officers. It's not done. If we have enough officers, we can have enough officers that can man our polling unit.
No, so you see, let me rephrase it. It's not just we can have a very large population, a large population that is, you know, cultured, and when people, you know, when there are consequences, but you and I will not be having this conversation. That is one. Two, the reason is not just about deploying police officers across polling units. It's about deploying police officers across polling units. Think and put it, not being mindful of the illegal light arms and firearms in circulation. Because if you deploy 10 police officers to polling units and they don't even bear arms, somebody will cutlass. 10 people with cutlass will outnumber them. Forget about the audacious anybody will think is having on. So what does that mean? Because of the peculiarity or the peculiarity of the crime rates in Nigeria and the peculiarity of the desperation of an average Nigerian politician, by the time you have election in 2019 and Kazim, Benga, Fuwe, whatever says that, man, 3 of them died, 3 of his friends died, or 3 of their friends died. There were six friends, and maybe just the next election there are just 2 of them alive. I don't think any of them want to become tout or thugs for any political office holder or politician, because now the system is giving them consequences for their actions. Because we keep exposing these policemen and officers to danger. How can you tell me to man? If what you mentioned something that happened at that Oyediro Street now, assuming it was acid pour on that female officer, what would have happened? But assuming she's bearing harm, she would have protected herself.
Not just herself, but the polling unit.
Even the mandate, the voice of the people. So we need to, you see, all this that you see, even in America, if you allow those guys, they are so lawless. You see, an average Nigerian is stubborn. And there's I don't want to go for guys, right? The Bible says that the heart of the child is whatever and the world is whatever. You see, you have to be hard on these criminals. On election day, if we know the importance or value the importance of elections and a vote, that it determines your life for the next 4 years. It determines who protects you or who sells you out the next 4 years. It determines what happens to you as a person. Because once God brings you to the country, He has handed over your life to that government. Because no matter the prayers you make, if you are still in that country, it's subject to the policies and activities of that government. So if we know the importance of these things, we need to safeguard our votes. And the only way we can safeguard our votes is to make sure that police officers at the polling units are empowered enough with enough firepower to safeguard our votes. Yes, there may be pockets of, yes, you probably say accidental discharge. There's not like accidental discharge in any firearm. Or there's just it amounts to firepower.
You don't cock it.
Your gun must be on safety. The safety must be on.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, as it is, it's almost 6 p.m. We have about 17 minutes to go to 6 p.m. We really would like to know what exactly is the situation of things out there. I think as it is now, collection has started because counting have started and ended at some polling units. Some polling units
will start tomorrow.
And some polling units are still
voting
at this moment now. Bye. It's not just peculiar to Lagos. Yes, Lagos as due to if we go by all of the reports from different states, Lagos has the biggest issue. Then Bayelsa, then you have Enugu,
Abia.
Then you have Abia. I mean, even
and Kebbi. You mentioned Kebbi.
No, I no.
No, I had mentioned Kebbi too.
Okay, that's from Kebbi then. All right, so these are the places, major places where they seem to be having some sort of issues. We'll take a very short break and we will be right back. Okay, we will be giving you updates as it comes on. I'll also be coming back to read out a brief summary of the chairman of INEC, his speech just some few minutes ago. So stay with us. This is Ballot 23, the Presidential and National Assembly edition. As it is now, I still here in the studio, we have Deyemi, Saka, Fuhad Zahid, Nuruddin Adegberu. My name still remains Omobola. Sandra Okwemi Akinyode is on his way to the Collation Center to give us live feeds from there also. So stay with us. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. .3 FM.
Oh boy, how far with your admissions here?
My brother, I have not been admitted.
What's the problem? Which course you even choose?
Now, broadcast journalism and multimedia technology. Now, Pico.
Those are exactly my courses, and I'm already admitted.
Now, lie. For which institution be that?
The Broadcast Art Institute.
Oh, yeah, go.
The Broadcast Arts Institute is accredited by the National Board for Technical Education to train and award the National Diploma in Broadcast Journalism and Multimedia Technology. If you scored 100 and above at the UTME exams and have 5 credits in your O-level results, including English, Literature, and a pass in Mathematics, you can now change your school to the Broadcast Arts Institute to kickstart your career. Part-time programs and short courses are also available. Contact us at number 38 Odofi Street, Igbogbo, Ikorodu, Lagos, or you can call 0806 149-9992 or 091-2379-9071. Visit our website on www.bai.sch.ng.
Clock the time. Rock the groove. It's music extravaganza, where the beat gets hotter. Mainland 98.3. Baby, let's go. The sound of Lagos.
Bossa. Bossa, bossa, bossa.